Okay, awesome. Welcome to Supercharged Sundays, guys. I hope you're loving the schedule. I think it's really fun to get to hear lots of different voices and different ones of us. So um, I'm not going to tell you what my topic is because I'm not sure I'm even going to really hit my topic. But excited to have you guys have you on live, Sherry and Kath. But then everybody, hopefully they'll listen to the playback. So Star Consultant. If you've been living under a rock, you might not know that the deadline is today. You want to be a star. Oh my gosh, you want to be a star. Do not miss this. For prizes, for recognition, for early ordering privileges when we launch new products. It is 1 a.m. tonight. We get an extra hour. So 1 a.m., you can get your orders in. You don't need to assign it to your director. But you want to make sure that you are running across the winning line. So if you are already a star, you want to run for the next level. Because there is, I got to move you guys. I got to mute you guys. Sorry.
I muted myself, sorry.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize everybody was muted. So there are, anyway, so there's so much value. You hear me talk about all the time. There's value in the stretch. So you want to throw your heart over the line and run for this goal. Even if you are way further than you think is even possible, you want to throw your heart over the line because you're always going to be further than if you don't do anything. And your victory is right around the corner of when you want to quit. So if you're $200 away, if you're $1,000 away, keep going. And I know I could give you story after story of keeping going, and miracles happen in the 11th hour. So be a star consultant tonight. It makes a difference, not only for you, but for your unit too. So congrats to our stars already. But there's so much value in the stretch. There's so much value. I am very proud to say I've hit my highest star ever. So it's really fun when you win, and you want to win, and you want to keep winning in your market business. So number 2, I want to talk about, and if you're writing this down, there's going to be a million numbers probably, and they're not going to make any sense. So I want to talk a little bit about self-care in this season. So we're at December 15th. Can you guys believe that? Like, this decade is almost over. We have 15 days. No, 16. We have 16 days left. And you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself in this season. So there are some people, like, you live for the holiday season. There are others who could really do without it. That's me. I'm a Grinch. You can totally call me a Grinch. That's fine. But you know what? The holidays bring a lot of busyness. It's a lot, most of it, 99.9% of it, self-imposed, because we're listening to other voices and we're thinking we have to do things. They also bring a lot of memories. Like, I'm not a sentimental person, but we were driving by the exit where I would get off and go pick up my grandmother last week. And I got a little emotional. I mean, she's been gone for quite a few years now, 6 or 7 probably, but like, we get flooded with those memories. But then it also is emotional in a lot of times you're seeing family members that you just don't choose to be with, like, ever, unless it's a holiday. So I just want to encourage you guys that number 1, you have a choice. So you have a choice with your schedule in the next 10 days. Even if you've already committed to things, I almost wish I would have thought of this back in early November. Like, you have a choice. So what I want you to think about is what brings me joy. So if baking cookies and decorating them, and I don't even know what brings you joy, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Stop the cycle. You have to realize that if it doesn't bring you joy, you don't have to do it. If you don't like to wrap gifts, please buy gift bags. I mean, I probably keep the dollar store in business. I know Sherry Ackerman loves to make things look pretty. So that brings her joy. So she does that. Her open house is way prettier than mine, and that's okay. And her customers love pretty things, and mine just gets skincare. I mean, so you want to be authentic to yourself in this season. And remember that you have a choice. I don't think there's anything noble about like waking up on Christmas morning or the day after, and not from drinking too much alcohol, but you are just, your body just said, peace out, I'm done. Because you haven't taken care of yourself in this season. So let's just remember to drink lots of water. Make sure that you're exercising, even if it's just a 10-minute walk outside, like use your dog as the excuse. 10-minute walk outside. Make sure that you're eating right. I feel like and I've totally done this myself, we're like, oh, it's the holidays, I can have an extra cookie, or I can have sugar, like, sugar's the worst thing for our bodies, and then we feel terrible, and it affects our brains, and it affects our gut health. And so, you know what? Those cookies that you eat once a year, they will be here next year. You will feel better if you don't eat them. I know that sounds mean. I'm sorry, but you will feel better if you eat a salad. Or make your choice that you're going to eat whatever you want on Christmas, but you're not going to eat whatever you want for the next for the next 9 days, so that you feel great and you cheat, and then whatever, you're back on what, how you're usually taking care of your body. Counseling. This is the time of year when stuff comes up, and I don't know about you guys, but it's been super dreary, like super dreary. I kind of feel like it's like the end of November or the end of February and March, and we're all like, when's spring coming? What's the groundhog gonna say? And it's only December, which is pretty ominous. So, if you're really feeling not like yourself, I would say go to a couple counseling appointments. I am all for it. Talk through it with a professional. I'm not a mental health counselor, but I believe in them a lot. Make sure that you're listening to the $1 million message, so that you're getting that positivity every single day. Make sure you have time with God. Make sure that you're sleeping. Sleep is super important, that you've got like a little bit of a routine before you go to bed, and that you're sleeping well. A couple tips for sleeping better: magnesium spray on your legs. That'll help with leg cramps and helps you sleep better. Melatonin, if you haven't tried that, I don't make a habit of that, but if you have trouble sleeping, that'll help your body just kind of kick in its own melatonin to get you to sleep. Don't drink too much caffeine. So you know what your limit is. I can do 2 big cups of coffee in the morning. The third in the afternoon, if I'm having a bad day, is a little too much, and I don't sleep well that night. So I don't ever get jittery from coffee. Some of you guys drink a cup of coffee and you're like, it kind of brings me to normal. But if I do have it in the afternoon, I notice I do not sleep as well. So that affects me. So, not what is your limit? Don't drink too much caffeine. Too much sugar. Make sure you're really keeping the sugar at bay. And then you have alone time. So you want to really know yourself. If you've known me for 2 minutes, you probably know that I'm an introverted extrovert. So I love you and I love people, and I'm going to give you my all when I'm with you. But then when I'm done, like, I am done. So just an example of this is I had a party Friday night. I did 2 bridal sessions yesterday. Then I drove an hour and a half to a graduation party. Then we were there for like an hour and a half. Then we went to Mike's work Christmas party. And then this morning we got up for church, and there was a luncheon because we're hiring a new pastor. So it was like a get to know you thing. And then we finally got home at like 2:30 this afternoon. And then there's caroling and a dessert reception at church tonight. And I never committed to going, first of all. But Mike decided he wanted to take Jace while I taught you guys, and asked if I was going to come over afterward. And I sat there for a second. I was like, my head hurts. I'm like in pre-migraine level because I've been with so many people and I've been driving so much. I'm just going to make the decision right now. I'm not going to go, and that's okay. And so I want you guys to be released, to make sure you're listening to yourself, you're listening to your body. So I did, what I needed to do to take care of my head, prepared for this. And then once we're done with this, I'm going to be done tonight. So if you're an extrovert and you love being with people and that gives you life, your capacity is going to be so much higher than mine. But know what your capacity is, and know what brings you joy and makes you feel alive. And remember that you have a choice. So if you find yourself committed to things that don't bring you joy, take note of those. And next year, Don't commit to them. But remember that you also have a choice in what you bring to a situation. So I found myself fighting negative attitude and bad feelings yesterday morning about all these parties I had to go to that were social, that I usually don't like going to my work Christmas party. But I realized that I have a choice what I bring to that, like that my energy and my vibe could make a difference. So I made a choice that I was just going to enjoy it. If there's only one person there that I like, well, I'm just going to sit with that person and I'm going to joke around and it's going to be great. And you know what? It was a great Christmas party and I had a good time. So just remember, if you are committed to things that that don't bring you joy, that make a note, so change it for next year, but also that you can bring the energy to a situation. But really what I want you guys to get out of this is that you do have a choice and you don't want to schedule, you don't want to prioritize your schedule. You want to schedule your priorities. So your priorities go first and then everything around it. I don't think there's anything valiant about being at every activity possible, being the head of the PTO and the head of this and the head of that. And then you're just dragging into Christmas. I don't think that serves you. I don't think it serves you. So just make sure you know what you love, what brings you joy, and you do those things in this season. Yeah, we're all going to have to do a couple things that we don't want to do, or see a couple people we don't want to see. But just remember, this is a choice. This is not like, do not live in people expect this from me, or we've always done it this way. Yeah, we've always done it this way and it doesn't serve me. I am not doing it. I'm not doing it. You did not give me a good reason. So just remember that, guys. I want to empower you that you can say no. You can say yes, absolutely too. But make sure it brings you joy and it serves you and it serves your family. If it's not a good environment for you to be in, I graciously say no. And you know what? When you change things and you stop a really negative pattern, there's going to be some pushback. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. So I also wanted to, I want to give you guys this quote. So this is from the awesome Inner Circle National Sales Director, Pamela Waldorf Shaw. So she says, when fear or lack of commitment or lack of motivation or any distraction that comes along, you'll embrace that as your responsibility, because any distraction is superior to facing your fears. So sometimes I feel like this holiday season is the distraction that we clamp onto because we're scared of facing our fears and reaching the next level in life, in our business, all of it. So I wanted to leave you guys with that. Let's not live in distraction. Let's not live in grabbing onto things just to get away from some uncomfortability. That's just going to make our future so much better. So so now I'm going to get to what I really am going to teach on. So that is some goal setting. So I almost feel like, so what I want you guys to do with this is, finish out your start today, run full out, go for that. Take notes on this, put it on the shelf for tonight, and pull it back out tomorrow. So I want you to either re-listen to this or go through your notes tomorrow. And so the first thing you want to do for goal setting is you want to think. So you need to slow down, to speed up. We are having a banner year in our unit. We're having our best year ever and really excited about that. But what I did before I saw any evidence, before we were having our best year ever, is I slowed down and evaluated what I was doing and thought a lot. So you need to take time to think, because we're in this society, we're in this culture of do, go, go, go. I mean, what I just talked about is that's what it is. And we take our value by how much we can do and how much we can handle, and never taking time to actually sit and think and plan. Sometimes we don't want to be alone with our thoughts. So what do you really want? A goal is, when you set a goal, it's an inner desire driven by a whisper. So loud does not mean important. Loud is just loud. A lot of things in this holiday season are loud and they don't matter. They're not important. So what is that whisper? What is that little thing that is nudging at your soul? Maybe you've been avoiding it because you're grabbing onto every single distraction. But what is that? What is that thing? So sit and think. it probably is going to take 2 hours, maybe even like an hour or two. And if some of you are like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that, you don't not have time for that. If you sit and think and plan and know what you really want, then you can work in activity and action and going at 300 miles an hour. But if you don't, then you're not moving anywhere. It's kind of like a car just like spinning around like this. Like there's activity, there's motion, the horn is going on and on, and you got all your blinkers on, but you're not going anywhere. So take that time to sit and think. That was maybe not the best analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So then number two, you need to know what you want, think about it, process it, like deep down in your soul. What's that whisper? What's that one thing? And then I need you to stop thinking and put together an action plan, probably with your sales director, with a mentor. What we don't want and what you don't want is the paralysis of analysis. If you stop at the thinking and just thinking, and you're like, oh, I need more time to think, or I need more time to process, you're just stopping at the thinking. And it's really not a goal. It's just a dream up high in the sky. So if you're continually printing things out, organizing, getting things in order, like there's a time and place for that, like once or twice a year, maybe a half an hour, but please don't hide behind that. That's just the paralysis of analysis, is thinking that you're doing something in your business, and really you're just thinking and overthinking and overthinking, and then you're discouraged in your Mary Kay business because you think about it and you're tired and you've done nothing. So make sure that you pat yourself on the back when you do an income producing activity, when you put a plan together and then you put it into action, not organize your office or count your inventory or print out the power booking again or reorganize the 3-ring binder. Now, I'm not bashing organization. There needs to be a level of that, but you don't want to hide behind it. If you knew what my office looks like, A, right now, and B, when I was in DIQ, I would give you hope that you could never organize anything and still be successful in Mary Kay. So some of you, your personality styles, you lean towards like that gives you comfort. And we want to move away from what gives us comfort. You also don't want to hide behind cleaning your house and saying, oh my God, it's a mess. That is not making you money. Okay. So the next thing is, so stop thinking. You want to put a plan together. But part of that plan is you need to break it down. And I would encourage you guys, like if you're a Sapphire Star this quarter, you want to put a plan together to be a Ruby Star, because we always want to be growing and getting better, and with our sales and our recruiting. And so if you don't break it down, you're trying to eat an elephant in one sitting. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you do want to break it down so specifically. Like, what do I want by December 31st, 2020, since we're at December 15th, 2019? What do I want in a year? What do I want by June 15th, 2020? That'll be Jace's 3rd birthday. What do I want in 6 months? So 2 more star quarters. What do I want in 3 months by March 15th, 2019? What do I want by January 15th? What do I want by December 31st? What do I want by, what's the date today? The 15th? By the 22nd. What do I want by tomorrow? If you do not break it down so specifically, like what is your small daily win? What is the one thing that you need to do every single day? For some of you, it's making 10 booking attempts. For others, it's making 5 booking attempts. For some of you, it's holding a sharing appointment every day. For others, it's reaching out to 2 or 3 people for a sharing appointment. What is your one activity that if you don't do anything else, that you have had a successful day? There have been seasons in my business that as long as I worked out, had my time with God, and made 10 booking attempts, it didn't matter what else happened. That was a successful day, because all of those moved me forward in life and in my Mary Kay business. And that actually is not drastically different now than it was when that was like only my 3 things. I've got a couple more things in there now. But so what is your daily win? My last month, some of you guys have heard this story before. So when I was in DIQ, it was 4 months, and I went in June. I did June, July, August, September. Mary Kay Ash herself said, don't go on vacation when you're in DIQ. For some reason, I thought I was smarter than her. I went on vacation in June. I went on vacation in July. I went on vacation in August. And so then September rolls around and it's my last month in DIQ. And I'm like, darn it, I am doing this once. I am doing this once. And I learned my lesson. Don't go on vacation in DIQ. And I made, it was from the last week of August through all of September, I made 10 booking calls. So this is before everybody had texting. You couldn't just text everybody. I made 10 booking calls. Oh, and I didn't have a smartphone either. And I didn't have a computer. I would go to my in-laws once a day to check the things on the computer. I made my 10 booking calls every single day for about 40 days. My books have never been so full. We finished the month doubling what DIQ production was back then, and finished as a new unit in 2012, which is really, really exciting. So, you know, one thing can drastically shift your trajectory and where you are in 30 days, where you are in 40 days, where you are in 90 days. So can you show up for your business for that one thing? And maybe, you know, in the season that you're in, maybe you're a really small child, maybe 10 minutes a day is just kind of stretching you a little bit. So your goal should be a stretch goal. So there should be a little bit of that gut feeling in your stomach, but it shouldn't be like, I signed up for my business yesterday and I'm going to be in a pink Cadillac in 2 months. Like, that's not realistic. So what have you never done? Like, have you never recruited 2 people in a month? Have you never recruited 1 person? Have you never been a star consultant? Have you never been a Pearl Star consultant? So in your and I would encourage you guys to have a life goal and to have a Mary Kay goal. I'm going to tell you what my life goal is because I feel the need to be accountable. So I need to get up earlier. And at the same time, I need to figure out what time that is, but somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30. So accountability is really, really powerful when you have to tell somebody what you're doing. So I will tell you guys what the time is, and I want you to check in on me to make sure that I'm getting up when I tell myself that I will. But, you know, what has always eluded you? What is the next level of your success? You have to be excited about this next goal, but there's got to be a little bit of like, can I make that? But not so much that it shuts you down. You don't want it to shut you down. And some of you guys are really good at dreaming and not really good at putting the numbers together and putting the activity together. So maybe you've been like, oh my God, I want to go on Target for my car. I want to go on Target for my car. And you haven't. You've been recruiting, I don't know, nobody a month, or 2 people a month, and your team is only doing $1,000 production. You need 5,000. Well, then maybe you need to sit back and say, you know what, this month I'm gonna personally improve. So my average order in a month is 600. I'm gonna plan my date book and schedule to hold 1 extra appointment, 2 extra appointments, so that I can order 800 wholesale in a month. Or I'm gonna schedule reaching out to men for the holidays, or I'm going to schedule follow-up with all my people with birthdays to boost my extra sales for the month, because my comfort level is to order that 600, and a stretch for me is going to be to order that 800, and then a stretch for me is to recruit 1 more person than I normally recruit. So then my team, instead of ordering 1,000 altogether, my team's ordering 1,500 or 2,000. So then the next month you can give yourself a victory by increasing what you're doing again, and then your team doing 3,000 together. And then before you know it, it's nothing for your team to do 5,000 wholesale. But have you been ignoring the steps in between? You can do the steps so fast in your business, but have you been like big pie in the sky dream, I'm going to do this, and not facing the reality that there are numbers in our business and we need to follow those numbers. And, you know, the company average is 1 in 5 women start a Mary Kay business. So if you're like, I'm going to recruit 3 people, and you are not holding 15 brand marketing surveys, sharing calls, career surveys, whatever you want to call them, then it's really just a dream. It's really just a dream. It's not a goal that you've put action to. And in this season too, when you're setting goals, think about like you're giving up meh and okay things for great things. There's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. And you know, what things can you give up? Maybe half an hour of sleep. That's what I'm doing in this season. Maybe you could give up Netflix. Or if you watch Netflix for 2 hours a night, maybe you only watch it for 1 hour and you committed. Oh, imagine that. If you did 1 extra hour in your Mary Kay business instead of watching Netflix. Oh, whew, that's powerful. That is super powerful. Okay, so just to end, I want to give you guys, so I was at Pamela Shaw's Breakthrough Academy twice. I was so blessed to be in her presence. Like, she knows who I am. She boxes me, like, so cool. And she actually boxed me before I could update her in November and wanted to know how I was doing. And I was like, oh, she knows who I am. And she's just the sweetest thing. But such a powerhouse, and she cuts to the chase. And so I just want to leave you guys with a couple quotes that I had written in my notes from things that she's gathered from her material. So I definitely want to give credit, but just jot these down, think about them. They definitely apply. Everything she teaches applies to goal setting. And she's doing a Facebook Live. You guys probably would know better. I think it's on the 26th of, it's the day after Christmas, on the new year and goal setting and all that. So that would be a great addendum to this. So yeah, so the first one is, well, we talked about this earlier, hard decisions are never simple and are usually followed by criticism. If you guys, you know, the crabs in the bucket, that when a crab tries to crawl out, what do all the other crabs do? They drag them back down. So if you're trying to break free from a pattern, from a generational pattern, from a family pattern, from just a negative pattern in your life, there's going to be some criticism and there's going to be some pushback. So expect that. So worth it though, for sure. You don't rise to the level of your goals. So you could have these great goals, but you fall to the level of your systems or patterns. So maybe you have been the person who's had these grandiose goals, but you've never broken it down so specifically to daily activity, to weekly activity, to monthly activity. You will always fall to the level of your patterns, not rise to the greatness of your goals. When you have fear or lack of commitment or lack of motivation, you will grab any distraction that comes along and you'll embrace it as your responsibility. So any distraction is superior to facing your fears. What distractions have you been grabbing onto that have been comfortable? Maybe just volunteering for different things. Maybe it's cleaning. Maybe it's, I don't know, doing laundry. I schedule my priorities, not prioritize my schedule. So are you putting in what's most important to you into your schedule first? Loud is not right. Well, loud is not right. So you want to do things out of inspiration and intention. Dig into your core values and your deeply suppressed desires to figure out what your deep down goal is. I don't have to do this forever, but I choose. So you have a choice. I choose to do this now. What is my painful sacrifice in this season for the next level? Your goal is always going to be in the whisper. Goal setting is just an inner desire driven by the whisper. So are you pretending or are you goal setting? And make sure that you set a goal that excites you to accomplish. So hopefully you guys grabbed, honestly, a hold to one of those things and just take it as your mantra and finish your Star Consultant tonight, or bump up the next level tonight, and then jump into the new Star quarter and the new year, having crystal clear goals and having the best year yet. So does anybody have any questions? You guys can unmute yourself if you do. I really didn't give a ton of like Mary Kay numbers and stuff like that, so I don't know if you'll have any questions. I'm a minute over. I'm usually early. Okay, cool. Guys, have a fantastic, blessed night. Well, Sherry and Kathy boxed me. Let me know what you think and what you kind of pulled from it. And if you guys could post in our unit group too, what your, the one thing that you pulled from this. So love you guys to pieces. Kim and Eleanor's unit. Hopefully you guys listen to this and you are blessed by it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm going to go put my order in to finish my best star yet.